We're in.
Oh, is she alright?
They're safe. Bringing the Sif fully online.
Do it.
The price of duty.
Carter!
I'm okay. But that's a lot.
Very dark.
Here, let me help you.
Is she okay? Please be alive. Oof.
Medical. We've got one wounded at my location. Millie.
Oh, man.
We'll see you at sickbay.
Status report.
The repair crew made it inside. EPS flow is back to nominal levels. The SIF is back up.
How does this affect mission readiness, Mr. Ermot?
Releasing the docking clamps using hull polarity minimized damage to the Resolute. We'll have some last-minute repairs to make, but if we reapportion some of the staff, we can make our departure on time. As of now, however, we are successfully moored to the station.
Good to hear. Send updates to my ready room. Commander Rydek, with me.
I'm gonna get a bollocking now. Awkward
You
silence.
disobeyed my orders. Well?
Am I sorry? It was the right decision.
Respectfully, Captain, I made the right choice given the information
You
I had.
disobeyed my orders! And not just in front of the bridge crew, but the Starbase staff as well. That's going to get around.
Huh.
My name's already tarnished around the fleet. But what is it going to do to my credibility on this ship? From the top to the bottom. Bridge to lower decks.
It won't happen again.
I understand, sir. It won't happen again.
I should hope not. You might have won some fans on the bridge with that stunt, but not everyone. Lieutenant Commander Chovak has already bent my ear.
I'm sure he doesn't take it personally. He'll get over it in time.
Mr. Chovak is more complicated than he would want to admit. I guess we all are. And, if I'm being honest, I'm not sure what I would have done in the moment either. You never really know if you weren't in those shoes. So, let's just boil it down to, you did what you had to. That'll have to be good enough for me.
Thank you for understanding, sir. I'm sure no one knows the burden of command as well as you do.
I'm sure you will, someday. Despite it all, we got our final Starfleet clearance to depart.
Nice.
So if you'll fetch Mr. Ermot, we'll knock out the final details of any outstanding repairs, and then we'll set out for Hotari.
Yes, sir.
Yes, watching on the way to the bus, yeah. Very cool. Oh, look at the Excelsior over there. Oh, it's got such a fine booty. All I ask is a tall ship and a star to sail her by.
All departments reporting full mission readiness. We've got our full complement on board.
This is my favorite moment, right now.
The start of a new mission is always full of possibility.
The Orion Syndicate could sell it as a drug.
And they would if they could.
Don't let the Admiralty hear you say that.
Captain on the bridge.
Sit. Sit, everyone. You all know, I'm not big on speeches. We're embarking on the first mission since our research.
You switch between viewpoints. It's usually one per, like, scene or group of people. I'm the first officer, and I'm the guy with the mustache, the engineer.
Docking clamps released.
So far, anyway.
Thrusters ahead, Mr. Handar.
The good old Centaur class. Nice. That's very much the sort of original cast movie style music there.
That should do it. Set a course for the Hotari system. Prepare to go to Warp 8.
Hi, Captain.
You know what? You take this one.
Me?
Do it!
Hell. Do it.
I'm not stealing Picard's catchphrase! Come on! I'm making it a thing. Do it. That's a thing now.
Nicely done.
Thank you. Oh, I get to sit in my seat. Oh. Oh.
Easy. Thank you. I'm fine. Really,
Do it, yeah.
You don't look
Well, I wasn't
so
gonna say make way. Make way. Oh. The disorder's kicking in. Uh-oh. Iridium monitoring. Red is bad.
I have to get to sickbay.
Go.
Commander, help me get her inside.
Oof.
Well, that was quite a scare. A few minutes more and it would have been one of the shortest tenures on record for a first officer.
Is that the engineer that was out on the hull?
That storm did a real number on her, but she'll live. Just needs rest. You should worry about yourself. Your deridium levels got dangerously low and destabilized your cell structure.
This is definitely one of the more memorable first days I can think of.
My name is Dr. Aram Duval, Chief Medical Officer. To be honest, I've never met a Kobliad before. You're...
Rare. I know.
I was going to say special. Your people's numbers have dwindled, despite the Federation's efforts to find a more readily available alternative to the deridium you need to survive. Yet you joined Starfleet, and managed to thrive. I imagine the responsibility must be overwhelming. Maybe even a burden at times.
It's who I am.
I know what it means. And I know the responsibility that comes with it. But I can't be anything more than who I am. And if someone has a problem with that, or expects something else, then that's their problem, not mine.
That's exactly right. And don't worry, I won't treat you like a science experiment. I just do the science and leave the experiments to Solano.
You don't agree with his methods?
I don't agree with his definition of acceptable risks. Not when the lives of your crew are at stake. My professional opinion is that the accident took a toll. More than he's willing to admit. He's overstressed, operating in the pressure cooker of his own mind. Which is never a good headspace when the lives of your crew are at stake. What concerns me is that now he's even further away from the thing he's been chasing his entire career. Breakthrough discovery. A major innovation. Something he can put his name on. The more the time passes and the further out of reach it gets, the more risk he'll be willing to take. People become blinded by their own ambition. I've seen it happen before.
I won't let it happen.
I hear you. But that's my job, isn't it? To make sure that doesn't happen.
No, I think she's giving his opinion, her opinion of
exactly why
his
I'm so glad
fitness for command.
now more than ever.
I think that's something anybody could do. Everybody knows about this accident, so it's not exactly like it's confidential. She's just judging his fitness to lead carrying that burden.
Word travels fast around here.
It's a small ship, and everyone's curious about the new XO. Fortunately, your cell structure's almost completely stabilized. And I'll spare us both the lecture, but I do feel it's my responsibility to remind you, without regular infusions of Duridium, you will not live. It's as simple as that.
Understood.
And my work here is done.
Lieutenant Bedrosian.
I came to see if you were okay.
I'm fine.
We were all pretty worried on the bridge. No one knew what was happening.
Thanks for coming.
I'm feeling much better. Thank you. It's just part of who I am.
You don't have to explain to me. I understand. I'm just glad you're okay. You trusted me earlier with the shields, and I appreciated that. I want you to know that I have your back.
Thank you.
I'm a Starfleet officer. Finally! I've always wanted to be one! Sadly, the audio for this game is quite quiet. I don't know why, so I'll shush.
Yes, sir.
Storm in the Hotari region will interfere with our transporters.
Okay, we'll need to fix that
all
then.
Available shuttlecraft in working order.
Excuse me, Commander Trowbridge.
Petty Officer Maris, I will leave you to your work.
Alright.
I stopped by sickbay and saw Millie. I figured you'd want to know.
How are her
Did
injuries?
the doc get her fixed up?
She's stable. But there's something about the storm's radiation that's making it hard to heal the energy burns.
Oh.
That doesn't sound good.
She's toughing it out. Dr. Duval said she'll be back on duty soon, though.
Come on. I have to run the final diagnostic.
Yeah, I had a good day, non-monitor. I decided to step away from Wandering Sword, though. I just couldn't quite sink myself into it, you know?
Before we get to Hotari, and things are piling on.
I've had a pretty good day.
Thanks
Thanks for asking.
We're making all our last-minute checks in security, too.
We'll be ready.
Tactical and security are short-staffed.
Well, nothing's ever 100%. But we'll be good to go.
And if you wait until you are ready, it's probably too late. Which is why I didn't want to wait for just the right time. I had a chance to think about this while I was away. Then you and Millie almost got killed out on the hull. And I thought it was important that I just come out and tell you.
I'm pregnant.
Instead of tiptoeing around it. Or worse.
Are you okay?
Miranda.
I don't want to assume that she thinks I'm a stud.
Yeah, I'm fine. Maybe even better than fine.
Oh shit, she is pregnant.
What I'm trying to say is, we've been really good friends for a long time.
Maybe not.
But I got back here and I couldn't ignore it anymore. I want to see if there's more between us than just being friends.
This is surprising, and I'm going to say that because it's not typically a Star Trek thing for this kind of scene to happen.
This is all kind of unexpected.
I didn't expect this either. But here we are.
In a shuttle,
And I
alone,
didn't want to ignore it. I just figured I'd
fully
stay right into
clothed, sadly.
Well, What do you think?
I look like I'm about to shit myself.
Been about as direct as I can stomach. You can do that too. Be direct with me.
I'm not sure how I feel.
That's a lot to think about.
I'm not sure, honestly.
I know it is.
So, maybe I should think it over.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, take as long as you need. I get it. But don't leave me hanging.
I won't leave you hanging, don't you worry. You're sitting down, you're fine. Yeah, it's not that kind of game where you get all naked and stuff.
I just don't want this to be weird now.
That was an awkward silence. Did you see that?
Nilly saw it coming. She said it might make things uncomfortable if I said something. And that's the last thing I want.
It's
You're
not
important to me.
It's not weird,
If
okay?
that wasn't obvious.
It's not weird.
Hey, it's not gonna be weird. It's fine. And if you're not a little weird, you're boring.
Thank you!
Well, that's definitely true.
I have validated my entire existence.
Level
Validated.
diagnostic complete.
You've got some thinking to do. Just don't take too long.
We have time, guys. Well, I need your help here. I need you to judge her and everything she does in this game. I need you to qualify her for partnership material, alright? Pay attention now. Also, that was a great sound.
Approaching the rendezvous point outside Atari space.
She's hot. There we go. Go for it.
Dropping the impulse.
Oh shit, just in
Ionic
time.
interference surging, Captain.
Oh, ow.
Shield integrity holding.
We can take it.
We are at the correct coordinates to meet the shuttle.
Commander Rydek, find us our diplomat, if you will.
Aye, Captain. Let's reduce the noise. Filter out environmental signals. I can manually tune what's left for Federation signal types.
I think we found it.
I've located the shuttle.
Opening
Is it that easy to be a
screen.
Starfleet officer? Oh shit.
Shuttle to Resolute.
Oh yeah,
Shuttle to
that was the
Resolute.
beginning, right?
Debris field. Lost maneuvering.
The USS Excelsior. Ah, my god! Little baby shot, man.
It won't get a transporter lock. It's just not happening.
Power up the tractor beam. We'll pull them directly into the docking bay.
Diaz, you good to run the tractor emitter?
Yes, sir.
Come on, Diaz.
Well, apparently I'm the
First
tractor
step,
emitter guy
lock
now.
onto the shuttle and stabilize the rotation.
Okay. Alright. I did it.
We're pulling in debris.
I'm on it.
Go away. Okay, we don't need the debris. Oops. Hey! I have to do them in a particular order then, okay. The tractor beam's turned into a repelling beam. Oh. It's a big rock.
That's gonna take out the shuttle. Diaz, the bridge. There's a large piece of debris headed for the shuttle. The tractor beam can't handle it.
Can our shields take it?
I believe so.
Ram it! Oh, please.
Rydek, plot an intercept course.
Please ram it.
On it.
Display the trajectory of the asteroid. Oof. Okay, plot the intercept course.
Here we go. Maneuvering thrusters bearing 53 Mark 17. 200
It's so
meters
sad
on an
that it's so
intercept course.
quiet for you guys, because the music is actually on point. It's not like from any show, but it has all the themes. And the tones of the show.
Whoa!
Or the movies even.
Someone's working hard on the bridge.
Alright. Tractor refocus. D. Just fire it into the shuttle bay. That was not gentle at all. Crushed it. Time for a promotion.
We got the shuttlecraft on board.
Good job. We're on our way down to meet them.
Terra firma, so to speak.
Ambassador Spock?
No way. It'll be a different voice, obviously. Shame.
The captain will be right down to meet you, sir.
In that case, I will wait for him here.
Not a bad voice, though. Whoa. It's Spock, guys, look. Awkward. He's only like a living idol. So are you okay?
That was a bumpy ride. Are you all right, sir?
There are some elements of space travel that I would prefer to have left in my youth. But I am, at present, unharmed by the ordeal.
You can totally tell it's not Leonard Nimoy. For two reasons. Leonard Nimoy is dead. And the rhythm's different.
Not a moment too soon.
But the texture's okay. Just doing my job, sir.
All in a day's work, Ambassador. This is what I'm here for.
Quite dutifully.
Oh.
We thought we were prepared for our arrival in Hotari space. But it is evident my craft was not sufficiently robust for such intense ionic activity.
The storm has been pretty intense.
There was an element that was most unusual. Before you came to our aid, our maneuvering thrusters and impulse engines were rendered inoperable. So we attempted a short traversal at warp speed, only to find that we could not achieve warp at all, even though our diagnostics computer showed no faults or anomalies. What do you make of that?
Ghosts.
When all indications say that warp speed is possible, but in practice, we find it is not.
Could be the storm, but yeah, probably the storm.
Well, this storm is one of the strangest phenomena we've ever encountered. It's disrupted other systems. Who knows what it might do to a warp drive?
Yes, it would seem further investigation is called for.
Take readings, run some additional diagnostic checks, and we'll get to the bottom of this.
Quite logical. Petty Officer...
Carter Diaz.
Spock knows my name.
Thank you.
Ambassador Spock.
Excuse me.
I'm honored to have you aboard. I'd like to get right to it. We're already behind.
Provocation to war.
Ambassador Spock, my senior staff.
Pretty sure he's happy to see us there.
Gets to welcome a Starfleet legend aboard.
All right.
You flatter me, Captain Solano. But legend implies the past tense, whereas I am very much focused on our present circumstances.
I didn't mean to suggest you were stuck in the past. You're right, Ambassador. Not the most diplomatic choice of words.
Okay, I'm saying it.
You are a legend, Ambassador. There's not an officer in Starfleet that doesn't know of your career.
I would never assume that to be the case.
We were hoping you could fill us in on the details. We got the basics from Starfleet. Two formerly peaceful neighbors are now on the brink of war.
Indeed, and the tension between them grows fiercer by the hour. Ilidia and Hotari. The Ilidians are the more advanced species. They made first contact with the Hotari over a century ago. This is Tau, the Hotari.
I'm not familiar with these species, by the way.
It is rich in dilithium, and for decades, the Hotari and the Ilidians have shared a mining operation there. The Ilidians provide the technological resources, while the Hotari have served as the labor force.
Rulers and
That
exploited.
arrangement was the source of their peace, until recently. The Hotari have suddenly and forcefully seized control of the mining operations and expelled the Ilidians from their system. That is the official story, as told by the Hotari when they requested Federation mediation. But the details remain scant. Communications between all parties have been limited by the ionic interference.
How did it happen? That sounds like what's happening in France right now. No, Africa, and the African nations removing French authorities from their infrastructure.
Forces, especially after decades in this arrangement.
Unclear. The answer to that question may be the key to a new, lasting peace, and one that I hope we can uncover during these negotiations. But it is
oh, I wonder if we'll get
the
to negotiate.
primitive
Oh.
Hotari forces would stand a chance against the Ilidian
Holy
fleet
shit, look at that.
if this escalates to open war. Left unchecked, this conflict will result in more bloodshed, which is what we are here to prevent.
And the dilithium trade hangs in the balance.
Clearly, the Hotari have been exploited in this relationship.
Maybe we can persuade them peace is the more profitable alternative for everyone. They both profited from the mines. And for the Hotari, something is better than nothing. Peace is our objective, after all.
They don't want peace.
That is correct.
The Hotari just won their independence. It's hard to believe they would give that up just for profit.
Yeah.
I agree. It would be exceedingly difficult to bring the Hotari to that position.
Neither the Ilidians or the Hotari are members of the Federation, so we can't make them do anything.
There is an additional complicating factor I should mention. In the past, the Federation has relied on the Ilidians as a source of dilithium.
Really?
That certainly changes things.
The Federation sources its dilithium from a lot of places.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is one of them.
It does make us culpable. We won't be trusted.
That means the Hotari have no reason to trust us.
I wouldn't go that far, Commander.
We are completely neutral in this matter, on neither one side nor the other. Any suggestion otherwise would compromise our position. Given the Federation's involvement in the Ilidian dilithium trade, Captain Solano and I must make every effort to appear neutral in these negotiations.
What worries me is if this whole thing unravels, and we're at the mercy of the storm at less than full strength.
We can't let it come to that.
Considering what the Ion Storm has done to our ship, and the Ambassador's shuttle, we have to assume the Ilidian fleet has had problems with it as well. This recent surge in the energy disturbance temporarily levels the playing field.
Commander Westbrook is correct. The energy anomalies around the Hotari systems have been noted in the past. But they have never been observed on the orders of magnitude we have seen in recent weeks.
This buys us some time.
If it's keeping the two sides talking instead of shooting at each other, that actually helps us negotiate a peace.
And we'll take advantage of that as long as it works in our favor.
And when it doesn't?
All the more reason to learn as
Mr.
much
Optimistic
about it
at the other side of the table here.
We do not want to be caught unprepared should the energy anomaly continue to fluctuate. So I trust we understand our circumstances.
We're operating on a strict timetable here, and we're going to be leaving for the negotiations shortly. Commander Westbrook, I want you to leverage our systems to investigate the anomaly from here while we're gone.
Aye, Captain.
Thank you all.
Dismissed.
I want to speak to both of you privately.
We have caught the eye of the legend.
Ambassador Spock, I'd like to make a formal introduction. My first officer, Commander Jara Rydek.
Commander, as you are aware, there are limits to what Captain Solano and I can do in our official capacity as representatives of the Federation. But someone in an unofficial capacity, your first officer, for example, would not be bound by those restrictions. Commander Rydek could ingratiate herself to certain parties behind the scenes, where they
I'm gonna be a
more
political
candid in
slut, aren't
revealing
I?
information
God
that
damn it.
could lead to a resolution.
She certainly goes her own way. Maybe that helps in this case. It would be unconventional.
Am I a
but I'm not opposed to
diplomat? I'm not a diplomat.
With all due respect, Ambassador, I'm not a trained diplomat.
That's exactly what we're going to leverage.
I began my time in Starfleet as a science officer, not as an ambassador.
Yeah, you did.
We must be adaptable in the line of duty.
Duty.
Well, I hope Commander Rydek will have more luck finding out what really happened than we will through official diplomatic channels.
The fate of the negotiations, the interests of the Federation, and the prospect for peace may very well depend on it.
Spock's in this. Fuck yeah. Ah, the Centaur class. You don't see many of those in the show. USS Excelsior shuttlecraft. Oh, don't say it. Don't come out about the mark of the face.
Mr. Diaz,
don't mention the face. Don't mention the face.
I understand you have already discussed the warp drive failure with Ambassador Spock.
I have.
It is imperative that the Ambassador's shuttle be flight ready. I need you both to ascertain the root cause of the system failures he encountered.
I'm surprised, Commander. I thought you would have wanted to work on Ambassador Spock's shuttle yourself.
I respect the Ambassador and his many accomplishments, but I do not derive any satisfaction from interacting with his shuttle as if it were somehow transubstantiated through its association with him. Especially when I have the entirety of this starship to concern myself with.
I want to do it.
The Ambassador asked me to take a look, and I'm ready to crack this thing open.
Good. You could learn from Mr. Diaz's focus.
I'll take notes.
Then I will leave you to it. Make note of any abnormalities in your report. Carry on.
One nice thing about Vulcans. Chovak is the only person who didn't look at this and treat me like I was something to pity.
I didn't open my mouth yet and I'm getting in trouble.
Doc says I should get used to it. Doesn't mean I want to be reminded of it every minute of the day.
I don't see anything. Makes you look tough. Yeah.
Hey, you won't get pity from me. I think it makes you look tough. As tough as you really are, that is.
And that makes you sound pretty smart. I might need
As smart as I
to
claim to
myself
be.
next time, though. Come on. Let's get to the bottom of this.
Alright.
Ready to go?
All set. Let's run the diagnostic.
Alright, diagnostics. Boop. I missed it. Boop. Oh, there we go. Begin diagnostic. Boop.
So, I know about your talk with Miranda.
Oh.
You do?
She sent me a Priority 1 dispatch right after your conversation.
What?
Yes or no, that's one thing. But I can't believe you said you needed to think about it.
I did need to think about it.
Well, you can't leave this unsettled. It's not fair to her.
That's true.
She was direct with you. Didn't play games. Neither should you.
Why would I care what she thinks about the approval? I do like her. She is nice.
Yeah, I like her. I hope I didn't screw it up.
I'm sure she'll be happy to hear that.
Thanks.
But I want you to be very careful. Once you're more than friends, it's hard to go back. And if things don't work out between you two, well, I don't want things to get weird. Is that thing done?
Yeah, it's wrapping up. Let's see. The relays along the primary EPS are blown. The backup relays are all intact.
An EPS overload from the warp drive could cause that. But how did the shuttle end up dead in the water?
Huh. Well, maybe the ship's data recorder can tell us something.
The black box. Ooh. Data recorder. Boop. Boop. Okay. D. Oh, so it was in space. And it went through space. Flying through space. Oh!
They were only about 8 minutes from their plotted warp point. No faults, just those warnings. What are they?
Let's see. Oh. Boop.
Subspace variance out of tolerance. What does that mean?
It means the main navigation array lost sight of space somehow.
Will the array going offline
Isn't
cause
like
that?
space everywhere.
Yes, but it should have also thrown a fault code.
Alright. Boop. Warp field
Warp
inversion.
field became inverted suddenly.
I've seen this happen when the center warp coil cracks.
A cracked warp coil throws a fault code.
Still, we should take a look.
Yeah, it looks something like... Fuck! Pretty sure that's the code. Next one. Boop! Warp cascade... Oh, it's all going bad.
Warp cascade failure.
Wow. They're lucky the shuttle didn't turn inside out.
Makes me think the computer panicked on the warp field equation.
Any one of these failures should have thrown a fault.
If it was caused
Do you like my
by a
sound
system
effects?
failure.
I like the sound effects that are in the game. They're pretty on point.
Roll forward to when that happened.
Yes, ma'am.
Alright. So, all shit went down. Errors, problems, they get pulled into a gravity well. Into the path of...
So here, they take a moment to get their bearings and they attempt to re-engage the warp drive.
There. That's the relays blowing.
Oh. Oh, more errors.
And look, there's another warp system alert.
They're all the same. Subspace variance out of tolerance, or warp inversions. Finally, there's a complete warp cascade failure.
Then it's one of two things. Either a warp coil is cracked, or the navigation array is offline.
That makes sense.
Divide and conquer. You want to check the warp coils or the navigation array? I'll check the other.
Ooh, I'll take the
Not
warp
overcomplicate
coils.
this. One of these systems is likely broken.
I'll check the nacelles for a cracked coil.
Your tricorder can record and analyze data. Looking through it will reveal the unseen. Use 2 to equip or holster your tricorder, because number 1's our phaser. Better not get those mixed up. Hold the left button to scan glowing objects. You must be close to some objects to scan them. Watch the frame of the screen to see if you're too far away. Alright. Number 2, get the tricorder out here. Alright, let's get a little bit closer here. Some objects you scan will activate a deep scan. During a deep scan, use Q and E to switch between different scan modes and search for glowing objects. The mode indicators on the tricorder will blink if there is an object to find in that mode. When you have scanned all objects, the frame will change colour. Hold right click to analyze the data. Pardon me. And finish the scan. Oh. What? Oh, here we go. Oh, radiation. Alright. Static field. In their standby state, warp coils produce a residual EM field. No deviations detected. Chemical. Sinusoidal coil cluster. The center coils guide the wave field through a focal event, maintaining a collimated thrust vector. No fractures detected. And then I'm assuming it's biomatter. I don't see any. Oh wait, I didn't scan all of it. Polyfahrenite depositions. The leading coil shows evidence of routine maintenance to repair microabrasion from neutrino interactions. Alright, so we have that. No biomatter though. Alright.
I checked every coil on the port nacelle for imbalances. If any coil in either engine were cracked, I would have detected it. So, it must be the navigation array.
Except it's not. Checked and double-checked.
Oh.
Well, the readings don't lie.
Here comes the security detail for the way team.
Hi! Oh, it's gonna be awkward.
Hey, going planet side?
Yep, as soon as the negotiating team comes down from the bridge. And you've got your hands full, opening every compartment on this shuttle. I hope you're not just trying to keep busy to avoid thinking about some other things. I'm not trying to put you on the spot. And lucky for you, I've got a ride to catch.
I made up my mind.
I'm actually done thinking about it. I've made up my mind.
You have?
Hey, Maris.
Oh, cock blockers. They're both of them. How could
And
you?
you're the phaser jockeys we always beat in Parisi squares, right?
Parisi squares.
All aboard for Hotari.
That another one of the captain's railroad things?
Gotta be. I just usually zone out by the time he gets to the whole steam engines were the warp drives of their day part. Catch y'all later.
You don't want to miss your train.
I do have to go.
Aww.
So, you said you made up your mind. You have something you want to say to me? The train is leaving the station.
I'm not gonna kiss her. There's too much in. I'm in a cargo bay,
like to know
and
what I'm coming
Spock's
back
here,
to.
so I've got feelings for you.
Hey, I've changed my mind. About us.
You have?
Yeah. I want to be more than friends.
What the hell's this?
Well, then I'll just see if I can move this whole negotiation along so I can get back here sooner.
Good.
Then we can figure it out.
Maris, let's go.
Be seeing you.
Bye. Miss you already.
Etzelarda Diaz. If you could float back down to reality, we still have a ways to go.
Alright.
Alright, where were we?
So, the warp coils in the navigation array are fine, but the nav computer doesn't seem to think so.
I'm out of ideas short of field stripping the shuttle from bow to stern.
You want to take this out of the shuttle and throw it on the bench?
Oh, real hands-on maintenance. I like it. Okay, the nav computer is patched into the ship.
The ship's computer can double-check our work. If the shuttle's nav computer is putting out false data, we'll know it.
Let's run through the shuttle's logs again.
Running now.
Uh-oh.
Same. Warp field inversion and a cascade failure. However, the Resolute computer doesn't show the same subspace variance.
We're in the same conditions that the shuttle was in when it failed. Why wouldn't the ship's computer get a matching result?
What if the subspace variance was a momentary occurrence?
That's a possibility, and it would explain why the simulation under our current sensor readings failed to reproduce the issue.
But a subspace anomaly strong enough to cause a warp field collapse would leave graviton ripples for days.
Let's run with the momentary subspace variance theory for now. Roll forward to the shuttle's attempt to re-engage the warp drive. We need the conditions of space around the shuttle at the moment of warp failure.
Resuming simulation.
Alright, hitting the D. Uh-oh.
Error in warp field calculation. Cochrane formula variables are out of range.
That right there. Take the shuttle sensor data from that moment.
Computer, why did the warp field calculation fail?
Warp field pressure returned non-orthogonal. Results are undefined.
That doesn't help.
Wait, what if we use a different ship?
I miss Majel Barrett.
The Resolute into the simulation instead of the shuttle.
Yeah, it should warp just fine. Unless... Computer, run the simulation with the Resolute.
Resolute simulated.
Computer, give me manual control on the warp power.
Okay.
Static field intensity, warp 1.1. 1.2.
Oh.
3. Warp pressure is destabilizing. Error in warp field calculation. The warp drive has experienced a system-wide cascade failure. Warp field collapsed. Subspace variance is out of tolerance. Cochrane formula results are undefined.
Bingo.
What-o?
Is it a speed thing?
The same moment when the shuttle failed to warp, so did the ship. Whatever happened to the shuttle just happened to us. The Resolute will not sustain warp.
Oh dear.
We can't leave Hotari space.